What's up, everybody? This is Rebel Scoutmaster. Come with me today on my way to work. We're going to talk about some stuff. Cue the intro. All right, everybody, welcome back. Again, this is Rebel Scoutmaster. If you would please like and subscribe and share this video. I've also put an optional link in the bottom for if you want to buy me some coffee or a tank of gas or whatever. If you want to donate nothing, you can donate nothing, but if you want to donate $5 towards the channel, it'll help me make better content. So if you want to do that, I'd appreciate that, and get you a special shout out for helping out with the channel. So we're going to talk about some stuff. I haven't done a Friday Ride Day series in a few weeks because I haven't had time, but this may come out on Friday, so you know what grinds my gears? Not having a dadgum fuel gauge on this bike. I get it. I'm used to having just the light, but it sure was nice when I had the Rebel. It had a fuel gauge, and it was half the cost of this bike. I get it. I can't imagine how much money Indian motorcycle is saving by not putting a fuel gauge on this bike. But if you guys have not heard, there's a company out there, I want to say it's Hemisphere Performance, and they're working on a modification to add a fuel tank to this bike. I mean, a fuel level sensor to this bike. So props to them. If you haven't seen them, check them out on Facebook. It's Hemisphere Performance. I'll put a link up in on the screen here for them. So check them out. It's pretty cool stuff. They got a lot of really good ideas, and they kind of crowdsource their ideas and see what people like, see what people want. So that to me means a lot. I had an opportunity to meet Jason from Brave Wolf Customs the other day. We stood around and chatted for a little bit. He's a really cool dude. Veteran-owned company, and just him and his wife, running the whole show. He does an amazing job. He's a hell of an artist and a photographer. So if you have any decal needs, and I think he'll do even one-off designs, I'm sure, just reach out to him. Super nice guy. Will do anything he can for you. So I enjoyed that. Like I said, if you haven't seen that, follow me on Instagram, rebel_scoutmaster. Kind of rushing a little bit on the way to work. I probably shouldn't be rushing so much, but I'm just trying to run a little behind. Technic Rides had done a video on the time change just the other day, and God, I hate this time change. I would rather come home in the daylight than leave in the daylight. And before the time change, it was still daylight for about an hour, and it's approaching dark by the time I leave for work now, and I just don't like that a whole lot. I'd rather come home in the dark. I'd rather come home in the daylight and leave for work in the dark than the opposite way around. So I just dislike it. The only other advantage is going to be that I get to see the sunrise on the way to work. In the morning. Also got some new exciting things from Joker Machine coming in. I don't want to give too much away, but I'll have a new video coming out on that probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be pretty interesting. It's something they're developing, and they reached out to me about it and wanted me to test something out. So I said, why not? And that company is another great company. As most of y'all know, if you follow the channel for any period of time, which I can put a link up in the corner, I got a lot of Joker Machine parts on the bike. So they do a great job, and I called them up the other day and talked to them and expressed my gratitude for, you know, what they do for the community, and I want to help the local guys, or the smaller family-owned operated businesses and things like that. I'll tell you what, I see all these pictures on all the socials of all these guys having to put their bikes up for winter storage, and man, I hate to see that. I really do. Down here where we're at, there might be a couple of weeks where you don't really want to ride because it's too cold, but for the most part, the average low temperature down here is not going to be, you know, below about 45 or 50. So there's some years which you'll only get a handful of days that are below freezing. And that's just in the morning. I mean, it rarely has it ever been below freezing all day long. Very rarely. I could probably count on one hand the number of times that it's been below freezing for an entire 24-hour period. I mean, we're right here on the Gulf Coast, Gulf of Mexico. It's hard for the temperature to get that low here, which makes for a good long riding season, and I can put even more miles on my bike. So I put 3,400 miles on this bike since March. Oh, if anybody else saw also the Instagram post and Reddit post that I put out the other day about the engine light coming on, and I appreciate everybody for the input and the help on trying to figure out what that was. I mean, it's gone back off by itself. I know when it came on, and I'm pretty sure I know why it came on. If you're not careful when you shift it down, or when you downshift and you're sitting still, the gauge doesn't register that you're in gear. And that's, I'm about 100% sure that's what happened, because when I pulled forward around the car in traffic, it was not telling me that I was in gear. It was just dashes. And that's immediately when I noticed the engine light was on. So I knew that that was more than likely what the cause was. Yeah, of course, the rest of the way home that day, because I was going home from work, the rest of the way home I was, you know, super hypersensitive, making sure that, you know, is there something wrong with the bike? Is it overheating? And, you know, and I was just freaking out a little bit about it, because, you know, you hate to have a brand new bike, essentially a brand new bike with 3,000 miles on it, and have your engine light come on. So I'm glad that went back off, and thanks for everybody that helped out, you know, input on what it was and what the code actually meant. It was like code 523-11 or something. It was still not 100% sure what that code actually meant. It could have been like oil pressure, high sensor circuit, something, I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea. But anyway, pretty much everybody told me don't worry about it, it'll go back off, and it did. So I'm happy about that. It's so fun to twist the throttle on this thing, I tell you what. But I just like the way this exhaust sounds. I like the way it sounds, I just don't like the way it looks. It's kind of short and dumpy, and now if I could thin it up some and keep the same, then I would enjoy that. I'd like that too. But alright guys, well, I am just about to work, so if you would do me a great big favor and click on that subscribe button and hit that like button, a little thumbs up, that'll help a lot. I like messing with people sometimes. Shame on me. Yeah, you do that too much, that's when you get labeled as a crazy, dangerous biker. Don't want that. Anyways, guys, peace. See you guys on the next one.